Did you know that childhood trauma is one of the main reasons for addiction? Childhood trauma, neglect, abuse, emotional invalidation, where the child is unable to express their feelings freely without the parents yelling at them or reprimanding them, causes that child's nervous system to shut down. Dysregulation of the child's nervous system can manifest in chronic stress responses. This can include things such as anxiety, stress, or emotional numbness, where the child is unable to express their emotions. This is an attempt by the child's brain to protect it from any future situations where the child may have to express their emotions, and in doing so, they would be reprimanded or experience further trauma. So the brain prevents it from doing so and places these defense mechanisms. Essentially, this child's brain is unable to thrive and thus is in a state of survival. Hence, their amygdala is hyper alert and very sensitive. They experience things around them as constricting and defined by danger. So any situations that they come across has to have some form of danger related to it. Child is in a state of fight or flight. They're in a state of survival and they're unable to thrive. Hence, even when they grow up, their amygdala will be hyperactive and they will see anything around them as threat, i.e., they will be surrounded by fear. Their prefrontal cortex will likely be unable to operate properly because usually there's a correlation between the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex. Think of the prefrontal cortex as the CEO of the brain and in charge of logical planning, motivation, and anything to do with logic. So once that gets diminished and its ability goes down, the amygdala goes up. It's an inverse relationship. When one of these goes up, the other goes down. So you'll likely find people who are healthy and in a very good mental health space. They usually have a very high and active prefrontal cortex, a low amygdala activation, whereas the opposite is true for people who have been traumatized and have experienced a very rough childhood or any traumatic experiences. Another aspect to consider is that people who have experienced such traumatic experiences in their childhood also experience a dopamine issue. That is, their dopaminergic system becomes null, i.e., they are unable to enjoy any day-to-day activity and hence must resort to extreme measures to experience those feelings. This is usually materialized in things such as drugs, alcohol, or any substances that they can use to change or alter their brain chemistry. Various reasons, but some of them include escape, predictability, that is, being able to predict what's going to happen, and a sense of joy and a sense of enlightenment, if you would say. A lot of people who take drugs, they don't actually want to take them, but they take them because it makes them feel euphoric, especially the hardcore ones. The main issue is these people never actually achieved what all humans should have achieved when they were younger, and that is a feeling of safety, peace, and calmness. They would have grown up in a chaotic household where their emotional needs would have been disregarded. Once these individuals grow up to become adults, this feeling of safety manifests usually in addiction and other forms of self-harming behaviors, such as gambling, as another example, or becoming a sadist or a masochist, where they want to experience pain just to make them feel alive. Not because they actually want the pain, but it's a feeling that they crave, the feeling of being alive, having pain as a close friend as opposed to safety and joy or love, which was void in their life. They cannot see how that can actually save them, or they wouldn't even know where to find it. Another aspect to consider is that since these individuals have an underdeveloped dopamine system, normal life becomes boring. They're unable to do rudimentary day-to-day life activities, and you will always find them doing something really extreme, regardless of what it is. Since the addictive behavior becomes what they actually enjoy and what gives them that sense of feeling alive, that euphoric feeling, they crave that, and If you know much about the reward system, if a feeling is good and makes you escape the hell that you're currently in, you'd want to repeat that experience. If you can focus on things such as somatic therapy, where you unlock different areas in the body, such as the hips and the shoulders, particularly the hips, where a lot of the trauma is usually stored. Think about it, your body's holding on to these experiences and these strong emotions from childhood until now, and you want to open them in a few days. That's not going to work out. You got to take your time, and it's a really uncomfortable feeling, but it's really worth it. Until you understand your body and you open those areas, you will keep reliving a lot of the same experiences. I think that's where a lot of people have to go, especially if they're currently seeing a therapist. So that's why self-love is so important. People mistake it with being arrogant or being selfish, but if you think about it, most people grow up as people pleasers due to having childhood trauma. To wrap this up, remember, addiction is not a problem. It's a sign that there is something not quite right in the system that is your body, and that needs to be addressed. Once you understand what's going on, I would definitely recommend delving into childhood, especially with the help of a therapist.